name is Danny Benson, host of I'm Proud of You, Sis. Thank you for joining. Please like, share, and follow. My guest today is running behind, so I am going to talk about some things that's on my mind. And there's so much going on in the world right now, and I'm just so happy you are here. It is summertime. It is hot, but I don't want to complain because I live in New York, so it's hot now and then it's going to be cold soon. So I kind of do love the seasons because when you're sick of one season and the other season comes, so it's like always changing. But thank you for joining my show. We were today, my guest and I were just talking about kids and getting into sports. And I had an interesting conversation with someone today about making sure your kids intern. There's a lot of kids that are going to college in the next couple of weeks. They're going to be freshmen. And I come from a place where the reason I got to where I am today is during college, I interned everywhere that I could possibly have interned for free. I know it sounds crazy with things being so expensive for kids these days and with inflation, but the importance of internship and finding a mentor, um, like as soon as you hopefully enter college, I would tell any kid out there, look for someone in the industry that you want to be a part of, so you could start picking their brains early during freshman year of school, because sometimes they will give you shortcuts where you won't waste a lot of time taking maybe courses that is might not be needed. And also find places that you would want to build relationships with and learn more about what you want to be when you grow up, so you can call them up and ask them, hey, do you guys offer internships for credit? When I went to school, I went to NYU. Every semester, I interned on my degree is in journalism, by the way. So every semester, I was interning at a news station, and that's how I was able to like build relationships. Even though it was for free, it's not even the fact that it's more about meeting people. It's more about who you know. It's great to know what you're doing, right? Because when I went to NYU, I remember my freshman year of orientation. The great I love NYU so much. Um, they said, in the next 4 years, you guys are gonna learn. We're gonna teach you everything to be skillful in what you want to do in life, right? But the only thing that's gonna make you different from anyone else is the amount of people that you get to know along the way. So they gave us like this notepad and said, here, there's 2,000 lines. You're a freshman here. You're going to have 4 years at NYU. And the goal is to meet at least 2,000 people. At least 2,000 people. You're in New York City. You're in, Soho, Canal Street. There's people moving all over the place. And they figured that the more people it's like the 6 degrees of separation, the more of the chances that you will get to meet someone that can maybe offer you your first job right out of school. Either that or intern, because even though it's for free, you're still in those institutions meeting people who are expertise in what you want to do, that you can have a relationships with, so you could potentially get their email and send their resumes to them. So when I went to NYU, that's what I did. My goal was to meet as many people as I can. And I'm going to tell you right now, for all the high school kids who have graduated, all the kids who are in their 20s who are adulting, um, and maybe you kind of feel like despair, you feel like you're not getting the job you want or you're not getting paid what you want, definitely pull out the Rolodex and try to call people that you've met, and maybe, just maybe, they're in a job that you would want to be in, and maybe they can pull you in. You know, that's why it's important to know and try to shake hands or try to meet as many people you can in this lifetime, because everyone I feel is like interconnected, interwoven, right? So maybe like my parents don't know, anything about journalism at all, but maybe like their friend of a friend knows someone that knows someone in journalism. So I was fortunate enough when I graduated NYU, because I interned at CBS, I interned at Fox. I well, my first job was at Eyewitness News. It was like the number one news station at the time. Um, in the country. I was fortunate because I worked in the number one market. Let me tell you something. A lot of kids need to understand you're not going to get the best hours. You're not going to get the best days off when you first start off. But you're basically like just building. You're starting your building blocks. Like I hear like I have like little cousins, and I pray for every child out here right now that just graduated high school or in their 20s, because I don't know, I feel like this is like kind of like the worst kind of time to be like out of school and looking for work. Not that the job market is not doing well, but just going through this whole COVID thing, which was so confusing, and so a lot of kids, we're going to, I let me tell you this, check on your kids, asking questions, because I remember when I was that age, like, my teens and my early 20s, I went through like my depressions and stuff, and my parents didn't ask me. Well, not that they didn't ask me, it's just that I didn't want to tell. At that age, it's all about, just you and your friends, you know what I mean? And your parents are totally not cool. So I suggest as parents, just check in on your kids, even though they slam the door in your face or they say, mind your business. Because I know I said that plenty of times to my parents. I love them so much. Um, it's good to check on your kids and find out, like, just find out how they're feeling about COVID, this whole adulting thing. And now they're in this inflationary period where it seems like you're spending so much more money in the same products that you were getting, cheaper. Or what companies are doing is they didn't lower the price, they just made the product a little bit smaller, because I guess they think they're tricking us to thinking like, okay, we're paying the same price. But I noticed that, it's a little bit smaller, so they're using less product for the same price. So I speak to like my little cousins, and this is a very like confusing time for them, because everything's expensive. They're going to school. um it's like, I don't even know if it's post COVID. I don't even know where we're at. I don't know if we're still in a pandemic. I'm hearing this morning we're still in a pandemic, or is it, endemic? I don't even know where we're at. All I know is, most of us I see are not wearing masks. I think a lot of us is just kind of just done with it. Because me, I am so done with it. I mean, it's like, just to be in the airport and wear a mask was just like, was just so, just was. I understand why we're wearing a mask in the airport, because everyone's traveling all over the place. So you don't want to, it'd be harder to like do tracing with so many people coming from all over the country in one airport. But I can tell you the truth, I did not, and I do not miss the mask. But what I was trying to say is, please check on your kids. Please check on, young adults, because their adulting is different from our adulting. I realized this when I was growing up. My parents are immigrants, so I was like the first one that went to college in my family, and my parents had two jobs um, each, and back when I was growing up, I guess you would call me a latchy kid, at 7, 8 years old, I was home, did homework by myself. I was watching my younger siblings, but I remember that taught, because I saw my parents hustle, and it was so hard. They wanted to give us everything, but, they were trying to, they came here to, get the American dream, get the house, make more money, a place, where, they say your dreams come true. And, you know, I feel like America's the only place where you can be, homeless and poor one day, and you know, and change to another class. I feel like most countries, like where you were born is where you stay, but America, is the land of opportunities. It's just, you got to work hard. And my mentor told me, and my parents is, there's always an exception to the rule. Don't ever take no for an answer, because people will say no, but you'll eventually meet someone that will say yes. So you just got to keep grinding. But what I was saying is, um, my parents taught me, because we couldn't get it from my parents, because they were saving, they were making sure we had food on the table, just the regular things that parents make sure the kids do, like get a really good education, have like a roof over our head. I learned how to grind and hustle. Um, and grind like I like grind like nothing tomorrow. You know, nothing was I wasn't born with a silver spoon in my mouth. So I worked for everything I got. My parents didn't have that much money at the time. So I I I I so appreciate that hustle. I so appreciate that grind, because I just feel that we were adults much earlier than the kids now that are adulting. With my parents working, I remember having my first job at 15 years old. I had my driver's license at 15 years old. I tell kids all the time, it's okay to get a hoopty. They're like, what's a hoopty? I mean, like, just a car that just gets you to A to B. It doesn't have to be this fabulous car. But one thing I'm thankful for, I am so thankful that there is no social media whatsoever when I was growing up, because I don't know. I just, social media it's a good thing and it's a bad thing. I think it's really hard on kids and young adults, because it's the comparison of where you are versus where this person is, or comparison on looks versus your looks versus this person looks, or your car versus that person, what I'm wearing versus what you're wearing. It's just so much pressure. And I thank God that I and so many of us did not grow in a time of social media, because no one really knew I had a hoopsie, right? I mean, I would drive to work A to B. It's not like, the whole world would know if I posted a picture like, oh gosh, she drives a hoopsie. Or do you know what I mean? Or if I drove a hoopsie, most of us all kind of drove a hoopsie, right? I mean, do you remember? I don't know. Like, are there people out there that drove a hoopsie? Like, I'm not even ashamed of it. I was just happy that I had a car to get to A to B. And it was getting me to uh have transportation without waiting for the bus, because back then, the way mass transit is now, a little bit more advanced. It was not that advanced. It was advanced, but I lived in I grew up in Brooklyn. We moved to Long Island. And transportation out here wasn't that great. You would have to wait for an hour for the bus, and my parents were not taking me back and forth to my job. So I got sick of just waiting for the bus for an hour, because if I missed the 3 o'clock bus, then I had to wait for the 4 o'clock bus. So then I kind of like saved my little money and got a hoopty. I was, real literally, I was making like 5.25 an hour back then. I still can't believe minimum wage is like 7.25. I can't believe it's, in some parts of the country. But let me tell you something. Just getting the hoopty, taking myself back to work, starting a job at 15 years old, because my parents, you know, they didn't really have it. Like the money that they made, it was to save, to get a house, or and for us to get the like our bare essentials, um, like the even the clothes that I didn't really wear name brand clothes, and that's one another reason I'm so happy there was no social media, because I don't know. I don't know. The clothes back in the day, you could wear a $10 dress and, you look cute. The pressure of adulting these days, it's like, it feels like it's more of a grown up pressure, with the name brands and the sneakers. Like, I have my kids, tell me, oh, mommy, I need to wear something new every single day. They sometimes, they don't like wearing like clothes that are washed. Not that there's something wrong with it, but it's like they take pictures with their friends and they post it on social media. So they're telling me, mommy, I wore this outfit already. I can't wear it again. I'm like, you're wearing the outfit again. Like when I was growing up, I don't know how many times that we wore that outfit in the closet. We wore it to the point that the outfit was just like worn out. It wasn't no such thing as you're only gonna wear an outfit once or twice, and now you think it's old and you don't want to wear it. So with that grinding, went to college, interned. Um, then my first job, I'm gonna tell you guys right now, my first job, I made only $20,000. Oh my God, I worked 3 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon for a couple of years. I worked at Eyewitness News ABC. I learned how to grind. I learned how to hustle at my first job. Just, just, just. The reason I'm saying this is because I look at my daughters. I have twin daughters, right? And when I was growing up, I said to myself, "Wow, I want to give my kids everything that my parents couldn't give me, like everything, everything, everything." And I realized something. In me trying to give my kids everything, the whole point of this conversation I'm having with you guys is I not every kid, but I see it with my kids. They feel like I'm not teaching them how to hustle. I'm not teaching them how to grind. I'm teaching them that whatever they want, they get or they ask for, or they know, maybe they'll do one little thing and they'll do great in it, or they get like a great score on their test. And I'm like, okay, yeah, yeah, you can have it. That's not really teaching my kids how to grind. Uh, it's not really teaching my kids how to hustle, because they're getting the satisfaction so quickly that they think that that's how life is, and it's not really like that. And I know, like, I want to give my kids the world because they deserve the world, but I also know that if I don't teach my children, and a lot of kids out there, and parents will understand, what I'm saying. If we don't teach our children young how to hustle and grind, and you're not always going to get everything you want, um, then what happens is when it's time for them to hustle and grind, they don't know how to, because they're so used to just asking and then just getting it. And I feel like, there was a satisfaction in doing that because I felt like, oh, yes, I've gotten to this place where I can give my kids whatever they, desire, without them trying to like pine for it or, sacrificing for it. But it comes with a catch because then we're building who they are. And if we're not building this drive in them, if they think life is so easy when it's not that, when it's, look, life is easy, but it's, well, I can't say life is easy. You have to really work hard um, to get the life that you want. Um, Maybe there's some people who are born into rich families and they don't have to, but I'm assuming the majority of us, you know, don't, I'm assuming the majority of us is just middle class people, parents maybe working paycheck to paycheck or just, working hard enough to put food on the table, maybe go to 1 or 2 vacations a year, have a roof over our head, have a really, go to school where there's education is great, and, have the kids in extracurricular activities to keep them busy so they're not like in the streets doing things that they're not supposed to be doing. And so my whole point is I feel, for me personally, that I think I'm going to go back to how my parents were with us and how they made us work hard for what we wanted. And the crazy thing is like most things I didn't get from my parents. They provided us the basic essentials that we needed. They gave the love, the care, the support, the roof over their head. But when it came to like getting things and stuff, yes, my parents would give me things here and there, but it wasn't as in excess of how I feel it is today. Um, when I was growing up, if we were on the phone, it was like 5 minutes on the phone and you're off the phone. That was it, you know. Now it's just weird, like how I see kids with $1,000 iPhones, you know, and they're, you know, first grade, second grade, third grade. And I'm like, wow. I don't know if our parents, you know, would have done that for us. I mean, I know mine wouldn't. I mean, we could barely stay on the phone for like 2 seconds, but it goes to show you that it's great that our kids, you know, are lucky, you know. Well, you know, I can say most kids because not every person's in the same situation, but are lucky to get the things that we probably wanted when we were growing up. But I also feel that we have to implement these abstract things that is not, attainable, like by touching, like tangible. We need to give them you know, the first of all, we need to give them morals. We need to teach our kids how to be kind, and how to treat people with respect, no matter their color, race, read, where they live, where they come from. Every human being on this earth deserves respect because we are human beings first. So let's just put that there right now. I think every parent should teach their teach their kids to be kind to one another. We don't have to agree with one another, and everyone has a right to their opinion. But at the end of the day, every parent should teach their kids how to be kind to each other. Also, I feel that every parent should teach their kids how to hustle, how to grind, how to work hard for what they have, because when you give it to them and they didn't work hard for it, they really think that everyone's going to do that for them, and that's when I feel like that's when the adulting come in. That's when they find out, wow, life is really hard. Because they're so we're used to just us just, you know, just giving them things. So I feel personally like with my children, I'm going to make them. They are starting to like work hard for themselves. I bought them. They have like you know, their own debit cards where I, you know, deposit like allowance money in there. So they're always anxious to find something in the house to do because they know this American dollar, and they know like the more things they do in the house, the more I will reward them and deposit money into their accounts. So I'm teaching them the value of work. I'm teaching the value of a dollar because, you know, with me, they want the world on their little debit card. If they know how much money they have in there, they're less wanting the world. They're like, oh, I don't want this really, mom. Oh, so you want me to spend my money, but then when it's your money, you're like, oh, you can live without it. So it's kind of like a good thing that I'm teaching my kids like the value of money because money doesn't grow on trees. Um, Also, I'm trying to. I just want the kids to know that we have to teach our kids how to deal with rejection. No doesn't mean it's a permanent no. No just means that this human being, um, is just, doesn't want to say yes, and it's okay. You know, everyone has a right to say no. So we have to teach our kids, how to deal with rejection, how to deal with no. It's okay to hear no and to understand that you work harder to get that yes, and someone out there will give you that yes. And it's about knowing your craft, working on your dreams. It's about the repetition, it's about the consistency, of whatever you want to do in life. And like the more you do it, the better you get at it. And the more people you know, like what NYU taught me, the better chance that you would be placed in the position that you eventually want to be at. So we definitely have to teach, our children, the like rejection is not a no. With that one no, I tell my kids you get closer to a yes, right? So I know it makes them sad, when they hear no, 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 but they have to hear no because in life you're not going to get everything that you want. And I tell my kids that all the time. You're not going to get everything that you want. So that we have to teach our kids. Also, what we have to teach our kids, we have to be an example of just getting along, with people. With all this like infighting, like, that's why I don't have my kids honestly watch. My kids don't watch TV. Like my kids, honestly, they're 9, 8, going on 9, and people probably think they're corny. But I try to just have them just watch cartoons, because I feel like another reason why, like a lot of teenagers and like early 20-year-olds, I feel a lot of them are their mental health is not where they want it to be, is because of the consuming of just being on social media, everything that's on TV. It just seems like it's so negative, and I just sometimes feel like a kid should just be a kid. A kid should just be outside playing and having fun. And when it's time for them to be an adult or in that age where they can consume certain information, then they will be introduced to those information. But for now, um, I feel like kids should be kids. So, um, I mean, I feel like there's stages, right? So, my kids, I have like 500 CDs. I don't even really let them watch what's really on TV because I have to really monitor like what's actually in it. Because I feel like some topics, my opinion, are not appropriate, and that's different in everyone's home. Um, but I feel that I feel like kids should just be kids. I feel like there's a time for them to be adults. There's a time for them to know information. And I think, like, as life progresses, things get harder, right? So, the kid doesn't know that. Of course, the kid wants to know everything. And they're like 7 and 8. Oh, tell me everything, everything. But, I feel like as a parent, it's like we should have the decision to gradually tell them things so they can kind of just stay um as not innocent, but just not stressed out about the world. I feel like a lot of adults, young adults, are adulting because it is so much stress, because I think they grew up a little bit faster than they really wanted to, and now that it feels like they're actually like adulting now, it just seems very overwhelming, and some kids wish they could be young again. So, I say to parents, just do things a little gradual. Kids don't have to know everything. Kids don't have to know everything that's going on in the world. I know it's great, but it gets to be heavy on children, right? And I feel like kids should just be having like a good time, and because as you get older, it's just more responsibility, more work, more stress. So, I tell my kids, slow down. Slow down. Like, you will get to that place where you need to know that information. But right now, let's say age appropriate. Let's just teach you what you just need to know at this age so you could just have fun. Of course, not be stupid and not be, well, I don't want to say the word stupid, but not have enough knowledge. Of course, I want my kids to be smart, but I feel like, we could, I feel like we could gradually like tell them things, um, and they can still be smart and with age appropriateness without them knowing like all this stuff about what adults know, my opinion. Uh so I know, there's so much going on in this world with, with our children, and I just wanted to just, say these key points of, make sure you teach your kids how to hustle and grind. Make sure you teach your kids how to build relationships with other people, and they're gonna have people that they don't like to work with, or they might not like their personalities, but we live in a place of people with so many different personalities, so we have to learn how to get along. And I think as parents, we have to be the example of showing our kids that we can get along with other groups that we might not agree with. um so that's a good thing. And I always tell this kid, I did one thing I always want to tell children: because you start making $20,000 like me, there's a time that you'll be able to just, you know you'll be moving up. So I'll meet kids at Walmart, Target, wherever I go. One of my jobs was Annie Ann's. Like when they first opened up, I was flipping pretzels, and I always tell a kid, where you are right now is not where you're going to be later. So, enjoy the experience, have fun, work hard, you know, don't burn any bridges, and life will get better as long as you work hard into getting to where you want to be, because nothing is really ever given to you. You have to work hard for it, and you need to be disciplined, have consistency, and also understand that life, um it's like, everything is temporary. nothing is permanent. So how you feel today, I just want to let you know, um, you won't feel tomorrow. And if you ever feel that, you feel like you're gonna feel like this forever, and it's not you're not in a good place, what I offer to everyone is, um, go see someone that you can talk to, and hopefully that person will help you get you into a better place of feeling good about yourself, and help you to accept where you are now and know that it's not forever and it's not permanent. And you, with working hard, will get out of the situation where you will see the end of the tunnel, and your day will be brighter and your life will be better. I just don't want no one to give up. I know life is crazy, but I just want to say thank you for joining. I'm proud of you, sis. I am Danny, host. Thank you for listening to me talk. But I had a guest, but they were late at work, so I had to improvise. So hopefully I dropped some gems, dropped some, something that would help anyone like out there. But please like, share, and follow. I'm proud of you, sis. Every Wednesdays at 6 p.m. live. Have a great summer and see you next week. Bye. Bye.